the timing of when we pressed was also very important, because if you go too early or you're not coordinated when you press against a team like Spain, then they'll play through you and kill you. So we were Joe Hart, Nathaniel Klein, John Stones, Gary Cahill, Danny Rose, Jordan Henderson, Eric Dyer, and then we were Raheem Sterling, Jesse Lingard, and Adam Lallana and Jamie Vardy. The week leading up to the game was really only 2 days, because we played Scotland in a qualifier on the Friday night at Wembley. So, as is often the case with the double-header internationals, you have really 2 days to prepare the team. And on the first day we were able to train. Most of the players had played on the Friday night, and so you can only really train with a certain level of intensity. So I remember that the big question in our mind, because Steve Holland and myself were in caretaker control of the team at that time, was how aggressive the team were prepared to be. We had two options. We could either, England had played Spain in a friendly 2 years before and had decided to defend a bit deeper and play a little bit more counter-attack, or we could be a little bit more aggressive with our pressing and try and stop Spain playing out from the back and be higher up the field when we won the ball back. And what was clear, speaking to the players, was that we've got lots of guys whose clubs press quite aggressively, especially the boys at Spurs and Liverpool that were a large number of the team, Manchester City as well. So the players were keen to press quite high. And we also felt with likes of Jamie Vardy in the side, when there are moments where Spain came onto us, then we needed the right profile of centre forward to be able to hit them on the counter-attack. So that was a little bit of the thinking. Lallana in particular is a very good player at organising the press, but we needed some stability behind those players as well. So the team selection was partly focused on the opposition we were playing, but also, like any friendly matches, there were players we needed to have a look at. There were players that we wanted to see in the game for the first time as well. So there was a balance of some freshness from the team that played against Scotland, but also how could we affect Spain. With Spain, the slight unknown was how they would play tactically. So they ended up playing a 3-4-3, but also they often play a 4, more regularly in the matches up to that point they played a 4-3-3 as well. So you're trying to prepare for a couple of different tactical systems in terms of the opposition. You also know that the strengths of the Spanish team in there, being able to connect through midfield and outnumbering you in the middle of the pitch is an area of real strength for them. So we knew they had a few players missing. People like PK Ramos weren't in their squad. You're preparing for the shape of the team, but the individuals was a little bit of an unknown. And actually the team, as is often the case for a friendly, when you get it through, is slightly different to what you might expect as well. So really you're preparing for the principles of the game and the key strengths of the opposition. You can't always prepare for individuals because very often, especially in some of these friendly international matches, they don't appear on the team sheet when it arrives. At the beginning of the game, we did press high up the pitch, and we had to stay compact. It's basics really of basic principles. When you're defending, the more compact you are as a team, the less space for the opposition. But the advantage of a 3-4-3 as Spain played is that this box in midfield can cause you a problem and overload your team in that area of the pitch. So, that was a tactical problem we had early in the game for our wingers especially, and their positioning was really important to make sure we didn't get overloaded in this area of the pitch. The timing of when we pressed was also very important, because if you go too early or you're not coordinated when you press against a team like Spain, then they'll play through you and kill you. So the flip side of that was, we knew that on the counter-attack, with the way Spain were playing, they had a real problem, which was really, the first goal was a consequence of that. And as soon as the play was turned over, Adam Lallana playing the ball forward quickly, Jamie Vardy's pacing behind. So, yeah, there's strengths and weaknesses to every system and every style of play, and you're constantly trying to decide how you adapt and adjust your team to make your strengths outweigh the opposition's, really. So after 20 minutes or so, Spain then reverted to their more traditional sort of 4-3-3, and actually that didn't change what we were trying to do too much. It probably gave them a little bit more solidity in terms of their defence, but although the tactical system changed, the areas of the pitch where their players do their best work, Busquets is always going to be in that area of the pitch, whether he's in a 2 or a 1, and he's going to connect the game. But that was a scenario we'd already prepared for, really, before the game. So the players were able to adjust and adapt to that challenge. I guess the big challenge for us as the game wore on was that to press a team like Spain at a moment where we weren't as good in possession as we would like to be, and dealing with Spain's press against us was something we didn't deal with particularly well on the night. So playing out from our third of the field, it meant we were expending an awful lot of energy as the game wore on. And so, maybe that's one of the consequences of the last 10, 15 minutes ending up deeper and deeper. We also made some changes to give players time on the field, and we had a couple of injuries that had to come off during the game. But one of the things that if you don't keep the ball as well as your opponent, then there's a danger that you fatigue as the game goes on, and they have the better at the end of the game. Really, the second goal was a consequence of our forward players. I mean, we're fortunate that our forward players press the ball well and are quite intelligent in their pressing of the play. So Jesse Lingard and Raheem Sterling pressing, winning the ball back. And then obviously with those two in particular and Vardy, we've got great pace in counter-attacking situations. So Lingard to Sterling, Vardy making a run down the side of the defender, attempting a cross which actually is half cleared, and then these two are then in support of the ball, and the ball goes to Jordan Henderson, who's supporting the play well, and actually this is an area where he tends to deliver a really good quality of crosses. You'd have to ask him whether he picked Vardy out. That would be a question. But as Spain are defending, Vardy makes a great run across the face of one defender and across the back of another, and it's a perfect ball really from Jordan for Jamie to finish with his head. So, as I said, really a consequence of intelligent pressing from our forward players, but also the counter-attacking threat that those three in particular had on the night.